Although Will Trent changed a lot of details from author Karin Slaughter's book series of the same name, the thing that has made the show an enduring success is entirely the author's work. Will Trent Season 4 arrives in 2026, and the fourth outing of the ABC procedural is already one of the most anticipated TV comebacks of next year. A lot of the show's success can be laid at the doorstep of author Karin Slaughter. Slaughter's novels have sold more than 40 million copies since her 2001 debut Blindsided, and although 2015's Pretty Girls is Slaughter's biggest book, the Will Trent series follows close behind. In terms of book sales and reviews, the novel series is wildly popular. That said, Will Trent made a lot of daring divergences from the source novel series. The physical description of Trent himself is totally changed, as is the level of graphic violence and intense content. The books are much more explicit than the toned-down TV show, and characters like Michael Ormwood are changed completely in the journey from page to screen. Will Trent's success stems from the title character's resilience. Co-creator Daniel Thompson credited Will's endurance with the show's success. Since Will Trent made so many changes to Slaughter's books, viewers could be forgiven for assuming that the show is entirely its own beast. Indeed, Slaughter herself encouraged viewers to see the series this way, telling TV Guide that she liked the show's changes since they made it clear that ABC's version of Will Trent had its own style, story, and personality. However, Karin Slaughter is entirely responsible for Will Trent's most popular story element, despite how much the show changed its source material. What's more, the creators are aware of this fact. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, co-creator Daniel Thompson said that Will's resilience was what made viewers love him. Per Thompson, Will is somebody who has had a really rough shake, has the scars to prove it, and he isn't going to give up. He's going to do whatever it takes to get up every morning. I think people like that. Indeed, it is this enduring tenacity that ensures Will is worth rooting for, and this is borrowed directly from Slaughter's novels. Will Trent's personality comes straight from Karin Slaughter's books. Slaughter's books put Will through the ringer. In the Will Trent books, Will has endured a litany of traumas before viewers even meet him. Interestingly, for all the show's changes, everything from his dyslexia to his backstory is the same in both the books and ABC's Will Trent series. Aware that this is a big part of what makes the character work, the creators focused on capturing Will's essence. Instead of staying true to the arbitrary physical descriptions of Trent, the creators of the series ensured that the show felt true to the characters from the novels. Will's toughness and ability to endure are shared by the show and novel versions of the character, and this is a pivotal part of the success of the series. As a result, Will Trent can change Ormwood from a monstrous villain into an unexpectedly complex, likable supporting star and still maintain the same tone as the novels. Slaughter's books are also packed with much more violence and traumatic material than a network TV show can allow, but this isn't a problem thanks to Will's consistent personality. Although the show tones down the horrors of his past and his work, viewers still get a sense of everything that Ramon Rodriguez's title character has been through over the years. As a result, the audience doesn't need to see the worst of the violence from the source novels for the show to still capture their gritty, dark tone. Will Trent's changes tone down the character's best quality. Will has endured less trauma in the TV show. In line with how much the show tones down the detailed horrors of the novels, Will has been through less in the world of the ABC show than in the novels. This is saying something, considering Will shot a child in Season 3 and the event haunted him for months in its aftermath. However, the world of Slaughter's books is even darker. This inevitably means that the television version of Will has survived less than his novel counterpart, but this isn't necessarily a problem for the character. Rodriguez's sympathetic take on Will is still shaken by the darker parts of his job, where someone more inured to trauma might simply be numb to the horrors they face while working as an agent. Since characters like Will Trent's Ormwood and Angie still struggle with the morality of their work, it would be easy for Will to become an aloof figure who is comparatively removed and emotionless. As such, it is good that the ABC show's version of Will is a little less traumatized, since this means he can still undergo meaningful character development within the show. Will Trent's best episodes highlight Will's vulnerability. The title character doesn't bounce back from everything instantly. Perhaps the best example of this came in Season 3. The aftermath of Will's accidental killing of a child was presented in a trippy hallucinatory episode, an audacious choice that would have been bizarrely misjudged in many other police procedurals. Even an adaptation of Slaughter's darker books couldn't pull off this sort of offbeat dark humor. However, in Will Trent Season 3, the jarring musical interlude felt earned and well judged precisely because the series has consistently given viewers an insight into Will's mind. From his relationship with Betty to his struggles with dyslexia, Will is a deeply sympathetic, human protagonist. This makes his grief and horror over the accidental killing all the more tragic. While Slaughter's take on Will is far from heartless, the sheer amount of inhumanity he has witnessed has had a profound effect on him. The ABC show's Will is a little lighter and quirkier than his book counterpart and, conversely, this means he still has some innocence left to lose despite all he has seen. This is what made it so moving when Will was left broken-hearted by shooting a child, and it is the reason his Season 3 arc was so poignant. By taking the characterization of Will from Slaughter's novels and giving the show a slightly lighter tone, Will Trent Season 3 managed to make some incredibly bleak material accessible. As such, Slaughter deserves credit for creating the character that viewers grew to love, while the show's creators deserve credit for making Will's story more palatable for a bigger audience. The outcome is that Will Trent brings the complex, human hero of the novels to an increasingly large new audience.